I wrote down what I want to say because there's a lot. So I'm just going to get right into it. June 13th, 2015, a night that has debilitated me ever since. I've told the stories, I've presented the evidence, I remained unsupported, so I took it to the most formal and impossible to ignore medium. I'm not going to rehash the details, not because they're not juicy, not because they're non-existent, but because I've been shown time and time again that no matter how much I talk, many just don't want to hear. And I no longer have to defend myself with those items. I have a federal court settlement, 2 confessions, and written memos of remorse for how my story was handled. I toughed this out for over a decade, knowing I would someday have enough that says, she didn't do this, she was framed, she was stalked, out of the mouths of those who harmed me, those who investigated it, and those to whom it was brought before for judgment. And I finally have that, the irrefutable documentation that I fought through hell for, that I fought for my life for. I don't need to defend myself anymore, the record does that for me, but I do have some words I'd like to share, a reflection if you will, about what has happened, how it affected me, how I battled through it, what I'm taking from it, and where I go from here. 11 years, that's a significant chunk of someone's life to fight a battle where being surveilled and harassed via inescapable methods of communication is unending, and being framed for heinous actions and words is a multiple times daily occurrence. Being supported is a rarity, being blamed is a rite of passage, being hated is a bandwagon. Reaching out for help proves fruitless, standard legal assistance is financially impractical, and charitable legal assistance is just below your realm of reach. Municipal level law enforcement's hands are tied, federal level law enforcement is strictly focused on threats to national safety. Your local and state governmental representatives refer you to charitable organizations that have already told you things like, this isn't something we help with, just block them, file a police report. It baffles you that so many people think you've not yet endlessly tried to block those abusing you, that you've not yet filed police reports in 3 jurisdictions, multiple times each. Ironic to your situation specifically, the general public thinks getting help from the law is as cut and dry as it seems in film, on television, and in books. You resent yourself for wishing that something would happen to them that would force them to see just how far from the truth these fictitious illusions are. The horror intensifies as you bide, screaming at the top of your lungs. You continue spending hours searching for advocates, charities, legal remedies, protective softwares, and shoulders to lean on through it all. You tell your story endlessly on repeat. You've had it memorized for over a decade. An elite few people and entities are in a position to help. Even fewer take the time to listen. Still, you do everything in your power to reach those whose occupations, skills, voices, influences, and connections you know can help deliver you from this peril. You reach out to those who have relationships with them, up to and including your own blood, and they gatekeep them. You say to yourself, if this goes in the direction I think it's heading, I hope they don't come to my funeral. You turn to God, to your ancestors, to the universe, to karma, to luck. You plead for any force greater than you to intervene and turn the tides of a debilitating fate that was chosen for you by ill women whose existences you were priorly unaware of. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you know that you are the only person who will save you. And over the course of nearly a decade, that subconscious certainty slowly gravitates to the front of your mind, pushed forward by the apathy, doubt, and abuse imposed on you by so many. The assaults on your character, misrepresentations of your dispositions, eons of yelling into a void, and twists of the darkest parts of your unsolicited kismet crush your spirits, wrench your relationships, and leave you with no choice but to turn vile. It's not your intention, it's not your desire. But becoming a hopeless case in the eyes of those who believe the falsities and see themselves as so much more righteous than you might just get them to lose faith in your potential to rise above the abuse that lurks in the shadows where they refuse to look and choose only to focus on how you react. Maybe if you become a lost cause, they'll leave you alone. After all, you know you can't rise above what is happening. It's not ending. As the saying goes, when they can't control you, they control how others see you. And your 3 abusers succeed in doing that. Hundreds fall prey to their false portrayals of you and flock to stone you for transgressions you never committed. Outward, you exhibit amusement for their continued gullibility of falling for the same false accusations over and over for a decade. Inward, you cry, hating that your reputation was decided for you on your behalf, with no opportunity for input from you. You spend years protecting others from the fallout, the ones connected to it, the ones from whose worlds it transpired. You impale yourself at the sword of your abusers to prevent them from redirecting the blade toward people whose social superiorities to you render them from oblivious and seemingly empathetic to aware and evidently apathetic. It is at this point where such realization collides with the ever-knowing notion that ultimately only you would save yourself from this, that you choose to prioritize your safety, completely disregarding that of any others involved. After all, you've spent a decade begging them for help. Was 10 years not enough of a grace period? You know you're going to have to make a bigger mess of what already exists just to get it to start cleaning up. You have to start yelling, start publicizing, start expressing suspicions that you normally keep in your head. Things that keep you just within the realm of speculation and truthfulness so as to not get you into trouble. You have to become the crazy person they made you out to be. It's the only way someone will listen. And then people start to listen. Some genuinely, others not. You can't always tell the difference, but after so many years of this being your life, fooling you is very tough. You take precautions with everything. You secure evidence within seconds in case it disappears. You have everything on a flash drive, in a cloud, printed, screenshotted, emailed, and/or texted to yourself, and entrusted to those closest to you in case your storage utilities are compromised by the masterminds of technology who have orchestrated this motionless way of living for you. You think to yourself, they'd be so rich if they used their brains for good. Your story gains traction, not for the horror you endure, but for the drama it stirs. You went into your public campaign to seek help knowing that. Your faith in humanity has long been shaken by it. People care more if you flash a scandal across their screens than they care if you tell them your fear for your life. They think your pain is superficial because it's caused within the telecommunications, so to them it's not real. But telecommunications are the hardest ones to escape because devices follow us everywhere. Cyber stalkers don't have to do much work to follow their victims besides sitting on their couches, using their demented imaginations. You think to yourself that cyber stalking might just be more dangerous than physical stalking because of the restraints faced by law enforcement due to concealment of identities behind VPNs and burner accounts, and the modern technology that can make nearly anything look real enough to convince the court of public opinion that you said or did it. Only you and your abusers know the truth, and long gone is your ability to brush it off and cough it all up to how miserable they must be to be able to do that to someone else. It's not your responsibility to bear the burden of someone else's misery, mental illness, or subpar life circumstances, especially people you don't know. There's only so much time you can spend being understanding and grateful that you don't live in such conditions as them until you realize those conditions are slowly being shifted to you. You find yourself just as miserable, if not more. Your quest for justice, for vindication, continues to seem like a lost cause, but you remain never leaving well enough alone, because leaving well enough alone was never well enough at all. It was just a brief pause of silence, shortly thereafter rekindled by yet another instance of abuse against you. The virality of your circumstances catches the eyes of people who are seemingly able to assist, but as usual, things don't pan out as projected, because you are just so impossible to believe, albeit through no fault of your own. Then you see it, the chance, the action by the right person at the right time that opens the door for you to fight for yourself in a true court, to obtain your evidence, to clear your name, to have a permanent record that you didn't do this, to finally move on, that is, if you can find a way to pay for it. Then you remember the forbidden move, the one that makes you a total idiot, but the right given to you by the Constitution. You can represent yourself. Oh Lord, you really are dumb, aren't you? But what do you have to lose? You've been in hell for 10.5 years, this is your out. This is where you take this to a federal level and say, hey world, what could I possibly be lying about if I'm willing to address every last bit of this at the expense of my freedom, should I be deceptive in any aspect of it? You conclude, you cannot be beaten as long as your truth is the actual truth. And you know it is. You have the evidence, you have the timelines, you have the narrative. All you need, all you've ever needed, is the unavoidability of answering to legitimate legal demands being forced upon you three stalkers. The harm you allege to have spawned from the non-stalker individual against whom you filed a lawsuit is contained in content whose elimination from the cybersphere you deem necessary. But in doing so, you also have the opportunity to force confessions from your abusers, show the public that you have nothing to hide, investigate your abuse with tools unavailable to the common person outside of the confines of a lawsuit. Action against anyone else was never worth it because they never used their identities. But this was cut and dry. Even easy, you might believe. And nothing, not even representing yourself in federal court against a represented defendant, could be harder than the hell you've endured for over a decade. It happens quickly once you announce it. The drama in the forums. Did she really sue them? Is she telling the truth after all? I'm so much more intrigued by this now than I was before. What if we were wrong? and the ones with the ever-correct superiority complexes. The judge will dismiss this in no time. This will get thrown out immediately. No way she will win this. What they don't know is you never intended to win it. You never wanted this taken to trial. You're daring enough to go up against people on paper after hours of studying and refining, but live, in a courtroom, you may have been born at night, but you weren't born last night. You know there are limitations to your abilities in a profession in which you do not specialize. You want the court process to speak the truth. You intended on a settlement before you even filed the papers. You studied hard. No class in your 17 years of schooling was enough enticement for the level of studying you did to prepare to navigate representing yourself in a federal court of law. You speak with attorneys, they tell you what you already know. You've got an uphill battle ahead of you, but I do believe you have a case. Someone you love reminds you of something you have that the opponent doesn't possess. No one knows this case better than you. She's right, you realize. No single person is more invested in ending this era of agony in your life than you are. You don't know a damn thing about the practice of law. You tape your late grandfather's attorney-at-law business card to the back of your computer and pray he will hold your hand through it. Not long into the process, you count yourself grateful that you're an excellent writer with an extensive vocabulary. It turns out fancy words in writing and fancy words in legal documents don't vary that much from each other. You research similar cases, learn how to cite law, learn how to cite case law, and learn how to format. Nothing is perfect, but you refine and improve as you go. You can tell by the opposition's filings that you're not someone they're undercutting. Those moments occur a handful of times throughout the process, and each time you secretly feel good, but you never take your focus off of the only goal you've ever had, establishing by a credible legal process that you did not do the things your stalkers framed you for, and you were not lying in your narratives about your abuse. It comes as no surprise to you that you never get that verbatim in writing, at least not in the court case itself, but the details revealed through the legal process are documented, and that's more than enough for you. The opposition offers a settlement, you accept, you negotiate to maximize your best interests, and you exit the exchange feeling secured. You, Megan Walsh, just prompted a settlement in federal court. You let that marinate for a few hours and then remember an article you read online published by a law firm. Quote, "The client may be highly motivated to settle if it is concerned about the publicity associated with a public trial or if there is substantial risk that an unfavorable decision may lead to additional claims." Unquote. Jeremy Mercer and Evan Block, 2022. You did that, and you did more. Along the way, you liaised with forums on which your abusers and those who believed them framed you, spread lies about you, harmed you, sometimes in ways that will never be reversible. You achieved getting those forums and accounts removed with the invocation of a court name and case number, police reports, and clear evidence of fabrication. You realized that the principle of risk yielding results extends beyond the law. After 8 years of stalking you, your first abuser has spent the last 3 years staying quiet. You believe she will stay that way, but you'll never let that fool you, and you'll never forgive her. After all, it was her actions from which this all transpired. All roads lead back to the night she framed you so many years ago, June 13th, 2015. She ordained you as a target, and the rest followed her example, capitalizing on the identity she inflicted upon you. You will forever hold on to the recording of her confession. You learn that your second abuser, the most damaging one, moved back to where she came from, far away from you. She confessed. You knock on wood as you realize that she hasn't made a peep since you filed the lawsuit. The identity of your third abuser, the one who toward you pretended to be someone you so reverently admired, and toward the exact same person pretended to be you, is unveiled during the period of time you elected to stay quiet due to the lawsuit. You investigated her intensely, coming to laugh upon securing public record that reflects her setting her own house on fire, beating up her mother, and being tossed in a literal padded cell. That's not an exaggeration, and that's not a metaphor. She's noise. She's loud, but she's noise. She manipulated the admiration you held for someone for so many years, and you spend each day chipping away at what's left of the sadness surrounding that, replacing it with the reassurance that you had to lose that to save your own life. That person's face, one who you once saw as enviably beautiful, now serves as nothing but a reminder of the trauma that sparked within her sphere and the apathy she granted to you when you asked for help. It's not her fault that seeing her anywhere online twists your stomach. It's the abuser's fault. But those abusers transpired from her space, and you suppose that neurologically, it's impossible for you to avoid the connection between the sight of her and the horror of what you were put through. You click countlessly on not interested when anything related to her shows up on your feeds, but she's unavoidable, and it's something you pray will one day not be as difficult to live with as it is now. When the wound isn't as fresh, you hope you can become indifferent. For now, though, you let yourself feel it, that melancholy ache that thrums faintly at the loss of what was once such a huge part of your life, the person whose existence you once thought was changing the world, the group in which you found community, friends who you have taken with you beyond the walls of that toxicity-ridden gathering place. But you'd be lying if you said you didn't miss the camaraderie. The gathering place taught you a lot as you grew up in a world where being aware and on the right side of history is important. You learned etiquette there, and the importance of awareness and respect for all those around you. You learned political correctness, what you should and shouldn't say. You learned tact, you learned empathy. The gathering place was filled with so many people who were hurting, no two in the same way. Being brought up in a privileged atmosphere, they taught you a lot. You gained perspective and insight into many worlds aside from your own that you'd never been exposed to before. You maintain to this day gratitude that the gathering place afforded you exposure to diversity that you otherwise may have never encountered, and you're sure you would be astronomically more ignorant if you'd never walked into it. At the same time, the gathering place seemed like the whole world, and you felt that everyone knew the lies about you. It turns out that everyone is a minuscule fraction of the people out there upon who you can make a real and truthful impression. The people beyond that group know nothing of the transgressions that have been falsely attributed to you. Stepping out of the gathering place gives you a fresh start, and you take with you those from within it who you choose to remain connected to you as you venture on. You cry at the realization, at the moment when the extent of just how strong you are encompasses you. Then you relax your shoulders, you exhale a breath that you've held for 11 years, and you gift yourself a teary smile. I'd like to address one person indirectly and share a few quotes to wrap this up, ending with a lyric to a song I spent 6 years writing, beginning in 2017. It's the most meaningful song I've ever written, and I don't know if I'll ever release it because I can't sing it without sobbing, but there are a few lines that I believe sum up this fight perfectly. The music behind me on this video is actually the instrumental to it. To the person who too was framed toward me in the same ways that I was framed toward her, who too the same actions were done to her as they were to me, who too many people used to threaten my well-being as they used me to threaten hers, I want to say, I cannot, at least not in this point in my healing process, make a genuine apology for having to do what I did to save my own life. I tried so hard for so long to avoid having to do it. Per the communications between your security team and my local police department, you and your colleagues were similarly shaken by the presences of these same individuals violating your lives and spaces. The difference between us is that I'm not afforded the same resources and protections as you. The only things I had to help me were the modestly advantaged social platforms I've built. You may or may not understand. You may hate me, be indifferent to me, or sympathize with me from afar. I don't know you. All I know is me, and that my life and my well-being must be my priority, especially when it comes to my and my loved ones' physical safeties, and to me having a secure future in which fabrications of criminal behavior are not plastered all over the internet under my name and likeness. I do, however, apologize if I hurt you. My intention was never to harm you, but my actions were the only ones I had left after years of horror in order to end what was being done to me. And ultimately, it did end what was being done to me, so for that, I stand by my decisions. My 2025 vision board had 2 glasses clinking to represent hope that maybe the rift created between us by the abusers we shared could be resolved. But like I said, I don't know you, and I eventually reconciled that probably won't happen. So my 2026 vision board had 1 glass on a beach to represent the relief I'd feel once I succeeded in rescuing myself. I wish you well, and I mean that. As for the quotes I'd like to share. First, a text I received from an individual who I won't name, whose actions yielded my path to taking this all to federal court. Quote, I know I personally think that you have been honest throughout this whole process, and I haven't caught you in one lie, and that's not something I feel came through in the production of the podcast, end quote. October 24th, 2025. Second, Justine Vanderloon, author of Unreasonable Women, wrote 1,000 letters to women in prison. One of the women wrote back, quote, sometimes you have to do things people don't understand because you know your situation best and you've tried the correct way already, unquote. Third, Dr. Jessica Taylor, forensic psychologist specializing in trauma, wrote, quote, Your abuser is going to lie about you. Your rapist is going to lie about you. Your stalker is going to lie about you. Discrediting you and warping the narrative about you is classic Darvo, which means deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. But they can never undo what they did to you. Reality never changed. They lie because that's all they have left. Deep down somewhere, they repress their actions every day. They know the truth, and so do you. Keep going. Those who believe the lies about you from your abuser without even talking to you were never safe people to begin with. They wanted to believe those lies. Do not defend yourself or explain yourself to those people. Unquote. Last, my own words, reflecting a fight that only I could conquer, a battle which I always knew that ultimately only I could save me. And the lyric goes, dancing by herself, twirling in the rain, knowing there is life beyond the stinging of this pain. Megan Walsh, 2017.